Shares of Uber now surging today after Tesla's robotaxi day offered few details for a long-touted driverless ride-sharing network. But could investors be missing the stock that is actually leading the robotaxi race? Deirdre Bosa has more on that in today's Tech Check. Hey, Dee.
Hey, good morning, Carl. So, yes, all the focus today, that's on Uber as the biggest winner from last night's event. Investors, the thinking is that they can focus once again on the fundamentals. But Carl's right. Uber doesn't have driverless cars or its own robotaxi network. It has partnerships. The biggest winner with the widest lead in robotaxis, that would be Alphabet-owned Waymo. That leadership now cemented as we see that Tesla is still years away from having a robotaxi rideshare platform. Waymo's success has been built on two things, technology and trust. 22 million driverless miles as of June, with LiDAR playing a key role in terms of the technology on the vehicles. Tesla's version, by contrast, relies on a combination of cameras and artificial intelligence that's still largely unproven, but potentially higher rewards in terms of cost per mile. Now, on the trust piece of it, we went to the streets of San Francisco, where Waymo taxis are now all over and available to the public. Here's a snapshot of the feedback we found.
Experience. I actually felt much safer getting in the Waymo than I do in just like most cars.
I heard about this when I was a kid, but like it's here now. It's kind of crazy.
In fact, we couldn't find a single person who didn't have a good experience or didn't feel safe in a Waymo vehicle. So we also polled some people in New York where fully driverless robotaxis don't yet exist.
I wouldn't trust it.
I just kind of believe that the car should be driven by a person.
I can imagine, especially driving in Manhattan, how a driverless car can navigate people crossing, bicycles going wrong way, e-bikes everywhere. I'm amazed how that can happen.
Key difference, those who have tried a robotaxi, they're largely converts. Those that have not are skeptical. And this contrast really highlights how hard-earned Waymo's trust has been and why it's working with Uber to get passengers comfortable in newer markets. Longer term, though, guys, there still could be a risk for Uber. Here in San Francisco, you hail a Waymo entirely through the Waymo app. If it's taking market share from Uber or Lyft, and with millions of rides, it certainly could be, that could make investors jittery again. One last point here, Tesla not the only one working on a robotaxi van. Amazon-owned Zoox has something similar, and I recently saw Waymo's latest generation roomier Zeekr vehicle up close. Guys, it kind of happens slowly and then all at once, but this year has been quite remarkable in terms of the strides that we've seen with robotaxi, despite the Tesla event last night.
Yeah, I mean, this is why Tony Sacconaghi, the analyst, just told us it's a race, and that's why he was disappointed on the timeline and the lack of details on the outlook for Tesla. Deirdre, and I think it's so interesting that you went out and asked people, because that was the whole thing with EVs. It was supposed to just take off, and I think the demand and lack of adoption and trust and interest from the general public has been a surprise headwind. So I do wonder about this technology, not even to mention the regulatory catch-up.
That is a really good point. But the difference is that robotaxis are only available in a few small markets, and it could take some time. It's not a coincidence that they're available in markets that don't have snow, right? Going to New York is a lot more complicated. When I saw one of the newer vehicles up close, even the cameras and LiDARs, they had things like windshield washer type things, as well as heating. So they're preparing for that. But one word that constantly comes up, Sarah, from people who have actually tried it is magical. It seems to just surpass the experience of it, any kind of expectations or skepticism that they may have had previously. Be interesting to see if that translates. Of course, San Francisco is, has a lot of first adopters, tech forward community here. See if that translates in a place, like Arizona, where it is rolling out.
Well, and that's what happened with EVs too. Yeah, I mean, New York is hard to imagine with all the pedestrians. Like, that is going to have to be a big learning curve.
You'd be amazed, Sarah. Next time you come to San Francisco, I'll take you for a ride.
It's been a while.
Lots of pedestrians. It sees those jaywalkers.
All right. Thank you, Deirdre. All right. I'll take you up on that.